So let's just start. We'll start with lab 3 here, or lab 4. Achha. In this lab, we'll try to understand two things. One is conditionals, another one is loops. You are both familiar with the basic concept from your C programming, so I believe you already have some idea. We'll try to understand how to do that using MATLAB. That's the primary goal. How to do this write-in statements using conditionals or loops in MATLAB. Okay. So to do that, you will need your MATLAB. Okay. So keep your MATLAB open. We'll need that. Let's go into here. Achha. Now, lab 3. So first, we are familiar with logical statements. You have seen logical statements before. Now, before that, you see, MATLAB actually have two types of statement. One is item assignment statement. Item assignment statements. What are those? So for instance, we have written in your workspace A is equals to 10 or B is equals to, let's say, 30, 20, 60, etc. So you're assigning some item. Assigning like, for instance, some value, some array, okay, a matrix or a string, whatever. So you are assigning this value in this variable, assigning this value in this variable. So this is an item, you are assigning it to a variable. Okay. Remember the names carefully. So this is like variable assignment statement. Okay, that is one type of statement. Okay. Now, another type of statements are called logical statements. What are the logical statements? For instance, if I write A is greater than 5, what this one is, I'm not assigning anything, I'm just writing in the command window, let's say A is greater than 5. What is this going to return? কি return করবে এটা?
1.
1. Basically logical 1. Be very careful. 1 and logical 1 is different. So it is going to return logical 1. Achha. Or true, basically. Okay. So you see, this is not a item assignment statement. This is a logical statement. Okay. So the idea is logical statement will return either 0 or 1. Logical 0 or logical 1. So logical statement is going to return either logical 0 or logical 1. So A is equals to less than 5, greater than 5, logical 1. If I write A is equals to 10, is still logical 1. If I write A is equals to 0, it is going to return logical 0. So that means it is false. So logical statement means something that returns either 0 or 1, logical 0 or logical 1, true or false. Is it clear? Any question?
Sir. No, sir.
Achha. Now, if we extend this concept further, you see, we can also join two logical statement together. For instance, if I write A is greater than 5, it has to satisfy two things, for instance. And modulo of A comma 2 is equals to 0. This actually checks whether the number is even or not. Okay, so you have two statements. This is a logical statement. This is also a logical statement. What do you have in the middle? This is the AND operator. It jointly check. It has to be true. It has to be true. Both has to be true so that the whole item, the whole thing, whole statement becomes true. If one of them is false, the resultant would be false. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So it works like this way. You have two statements, you are joining two statements together like this way with an AND. And means this has to be true and this has to be true as well. Only then you have output true, otherwise the output will be false. So if I write like this way, A is greater than 10 and modulo of A comma 2 is equals to 0. What is this going to return? এটা কি রিটার্ন করবে?
Sir, logical 0.
লজিক্যাল জিরো। ইয়েস, বিকজ
A
কেন?
is not A is not greater than 10.
ইয়েস, দিস ইজ ফলস। This is true, yes, but this is false. So if one of them is false, the output is false. So for AND operator, AND operation, both has to be true. It doesn't have to be true. It can be 3, 4 as well. You can join multiple statements together like this. So this is one thing. So the opposite of this one, or if I write instead of like this, so if I write like this, or is represented with a straight line. Okay, dari. So if I do like this, so either this is true or this is true. If one of them true, output is true. Otherwise, false, like this way. So this is the OR statement. So using for OR, we use this sign. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, বাকিরা কি আসে না গেছে? বাকিরা কি ক্লাস করতেছে না ঘুমাচ্ছ?
আছেই তো 12 জন, স্যার।
আসেই 12 জন, বাকিরা রেসপন্স নাই দেখে মনে হচ্ছে বাকিরা সব ঘুম, জয়েন করে ঘুম। এরকম করলে তোমাদের ভিডিও রেকর্ডেড ভিডিও দেওয়া বন্ধ করতে হবে। আচ্ছা, the next thing, so we learn two things: AND operator, all operator, and logical operation. আচ্ছা, next what we have is that you see we have some built-in functions that can also return this work like a logical statement. What are those? So for instance, we have one all, like any. So how they work, you see previously defined b is equals to this 30 b shite. Okay, so if I write b is equals to, let's say 3 to 6, so if I write all of b or any of b, what this two function will do, all of b returns. আচ্ছা, চেক করো, write in your MATLAB in b and check which what this returns and what this returns. বলো আমাকে কার কোনটা আসে। কি আসছে?
তার লজিক্যাল ফার্স্ট
লজিক্যাল 1।
ফার্স্ট একটা লজিক্যাল ওয়ান দুইটাই
পরেরটা
লজিক্যাল ওয়ান।
লজিক্যাল আন দুইটাই।
ইয়েস স্যার।
আচ্ছা, একটু চেঞ্জ করে দিই, 3 to 0, 6 এর জায়গায় 0 দিও, সি অনায় দাও, তারপর অল সি, এনি সি। এখন কি অবস্থা? নাও।
Sir, the first one turns logical 0.
Second one,
Logical
1।
1.
okay. So what actually happening here? You see, these two function checks non-negative, checks whether all the elements are non-negative or not. Non-zero, so not negative না, non-zero, sorry, non-negative না, non-zero হবে, মাইনাসও কাজ করবে, non-zero. So all checks whether in the array all the elements are non-zero or not. So this is returning 1 because all the elements are non-zero. For C, this is returning 0 because there is one element that is 0. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what any does, any checks whether any of the elements is non-zero or not. So here all the three elements are non-zero, so it is satisfied. For this one here, two elements, any মানে যে কোনো একটা, if any of them is non-zero, that means it is 1. So since any one of them is, two of them is non-zero, so it is 1. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I write 0 0 1 0, what will be the output for all D and any C? বলো।
Sir, logical 0 and logical 1.
Logical 0 and logical 1. So these are another হচ্ছে logical statement. You can write all the logical statement using this way. আচ্ছা, clear?
Yes,
Now we have another function called find. If I write find d, what is this going to return? It is going to return 3. Find function returns the index. Understand? Find, আমি খুঁজতেছি কি খুঁজতেছি? index of non-zero elements. Okay, there is only one non-zero element, so index দিল কত? 3. So find function automatically returns the index of the non-zero elements, linear index. So if I write find of c, what will be the output? This is your c. কি আসবে?
so could you repeat the question?
If I write find of c, what will be the output?
1 and
Find
2.
find of d was 3.
Find of C will return an array of indices of the non-zero elements.
1 2.
1, comma, yes, sir.
1 2. See, find means index of non-zero elements. জিরো ছাড়া যেগুলা থাকবে এলিমেন্ট সেগুলার ইন্ডেক্স দেবে, সোজা বাংলা ভাষা। এখানে জিরো ছাড়া কি কি আছে? এইটা আছে আর এইটা আছে, এটা ইন্ডেক্স করো 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 should not take very much time to understand. Okay, so find is another very useful function that helps us find the index, okay, the indices of all the non-zero elements in the array. Now this one returns what? Linear index, right? This one returns by default linear index. So if I give you this array, create this array in your notebook. F is equals to 0 4 0 3 2 0. Now write find of f. What this one is going to return? Check karo. Write in your MATLAB and check. Yes, sir.
So a column vector 3 4 5.
3 4 5. Yes. It should return a column vector of 3 4 5 because the linear index of this one is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Clear? Any question? কারো
No,
কোনো
sir.
question? আচ্ছা, now if let's say for suppose if I wanted these things instead of linear index, if I wanted as subscripts, that is one another type of indexing we studied, I have to write like this way: r comma c, that's equals to find f. R comma c are variable names, okay, row and column just variable names. Then if you write this code, see what happens. It will return two array, one is r, another one is c. বলো আর এর ভ্যালু কত হবে, সি এর ভ্যালু কত হবে, চেক করে বলো। চেক না করে কি বলতে পারবে?
Sir, actor 1 will give the value R and C will give the index.
Yes, this one is going to return everything in subscripts. Same thing but in subscripts. So what are my subscripts? 3 comma 1, this is 1 comma 2, this is 2 comma 2. So this returns the rows, this returns the columns sequentially like this form. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
চেক করে দেখো ম্যাচ হয়।
Yes, sir.
Any question? Be very careful with the very small things. This should be in your mind automatically. You don't need to check MATLAB to actually find these things. You should be automatically able to answer these questions. Acha. Now in this matrix, if I write any of f, what will be the output? and all of f, what will be the output? বলো। কি হবে?
Sir, 1 1 or 0 0?
1 1 then 0 0. Why?
Because, sir, the operations are performed column-wise.
Yes.
The first column, there is at least one non-zero element. In the second column, there are two non-zero elements.
You see, when you have a linear array, so 1D array is fine. But when you have a matrix, the operation always goes column-wise. Everything in MATLAB in column-wise, I mentioned earlier. So everything will run here in column-wise manner. Okay. So column-wise means, okay. So you see the first column. What do you have in the first column? 0 0 2. Any of them non-zero? Yes. So 1. Any of them non-zero? Yes. So 1. All of them non-zero? No. So 0. All of them non-zero? No. So 0. That's why you have any. Okay. Is it clear up to this far?
Yes, sir.
Acha. So we learned about conditional statements, some very basic things, and 3 new functions, all, any, and find. Okay. How to utilize those things, we have learned these things. Acha. Let's use this concept after this one. We'll go into conditionals. So conditional means, try to understand very easily, very carefully, very simple. We'll give a condition. So the reserved keyword is if. Okay. If. Acha. So if, then something. So here you have to write a logical statement. This is, you have to be careful. This has to be a logical statement. It cannot be a item assignment statement. Okay. It has to be a logical statement. After if, the statement has to be logical in the same line, not in a different line. So if I write, if a is greater than 5, our original a value was 10. So logical statement means this is going to return either what, true or false. A is greater than 5. Is it true or false?
True.
True. Okay. So if this is true, then if this statement is true, then this is what we call the body. Whatever you write here, that is going to run. So let's say in the body we write out is equals to a multiple by 10. Okay. Then you have to finish it with an end. You see, any if we has to finish with an end. The body will come after an indentation. This is in the same line. You can have multiple lines inside the body. আমার কথা বোঝা গেল? আবার বলতেছি, after if you have a logical statement. If the logical statement is true, then this will run, whatever you run here. You can write 10 lines, 20 lines, whatever you need. Then you have to finish it with an end. You must finish it with an end. Then your if is condition, if an end, the conditional statement is complete. Now, if I run this, if you run this, try to run this in Excel file, sorry, MLX file. So if we go here, see, can you see the
Sir?
screen? Bolo?
Sir, could you explain the function of out here again?
Out is not a function, out is just a variable. Out is used as a variable. আচ্ছা দাঁড়াও দেখাচ্ছি।
Oh, আচ্ছা, okay, sorry, sir.
So to do this, I am using MLX file. MLX file is relatively easier because we can check everything on the right hand side. Okay, whatever I write here, I can see here. So this is easy. So first I define, let's say a is equals to 10. If I run this, yeah, see first, you see the outputs outside, a value is 10. Now I create a section break because I want to keep every section separate. Makes it easy to understand. Achha. You can also give it some names. There is text option. Achha. So our if condition. So if, okay. So if a is greater than 5, conditional statement. Done. So I place an enter, it automatically goes to the indentation block. Okay. I write out is equals to a multiplied by 10. Okay. Then I write end. So it automatically, you see, whenever this actually matches, so it is done. Okay. Out is just a variable I assigned. So this is out equals to 100 because this is true. So 10 plus 10 100. Is it clear? Now you see,
Yes, sir.
if this statement was not true, if a is less than 5, the statement would not have been true. So I do this, a is multiplied by only 2, then end. If I run this, you see, is this statement true?
No, sir.
No, তার মানে কি এটা রান হয়েছে?
No, sir.
No, you see, that's why there is no output here. So this one will only run if the statement was, if the logical statement was true. Otherwise, it will not run. Previously, it was true, that's why it ran. But when I run it, you see, there is no output because this statement is not true. That's why it is not running. Now, if I give a condition like this, you see this one, or if a is less than 5, or modulo of a comma 2 is equals to 0. Now, what will be the output? Is the logical output one, true or false?
True.
True or false?
True.
True, yes. Because this is true, this is false, fine. One of them is true because this is OR. Now see, we get the output because if one of them is true, that means the total statement is returning true. So now this one will run. Is it clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Acha. So basically, this is what a if condition looks like. If condition, conditional statement, a logical statement comes, then you have your body, then you have to finish it with an end. That's very as simple as it gets. Now, this is one structure. Now, there are multiple ways we can actually further enhance it. For instance, let's see. Now, so previously, we wrote like this. If a is less than 5, if this statement of true, out is equals to a multiplied by 2. Okay. And we finish it. But now we can give something this. Else statement. If else. Acha. If can finish with an end. Else means if this statement is not true. আচ্ছা দাঁড়া, এখানে আমি আরেকটা কাজ করি। Not. আচ্ছা। Now, if this is true, then this one will run. Else means if that is not true. So we don't have to write anything after else. Very careful. After else, we don't write any logical condition because it is just if this is not true, then we'll run this. So if it is not true, then out is equals to a minus 5. Then I write end. One end. If else end, not multiple end, only one end. This is within a if conditioning. So bojo, if this is true, this one will run and it will end. If this is not true, then whatever inside else that will run, then end. So now you see, it is 5 because 10 minus 5 equals to 5. আমার কথা বোঝা গেছে?
Yes, sir.
Now let's see. If I give this, what will be the output now? বলো দেখি। এখন আউটপুট কত হবে?
20.
Yes. Output will be 20 because when this is true, this is run. You see, there is called it is called a pointer. Pointer means where your everything is pointed at. So first it is pointed at here. When it finds true, this is pointed at here. Whenever this statement is run, it will not check whatever is after that one. No, it will directly go to end. Is it clear? আমার কথা বোঝা
Yes,
যাচ্ছে?
sir.
So basically we saw two different ways. One is F, then body end. This is your type 1. So type 2 is if this is true, run this, else this, finish with an end. Okay. So if this is true, it will run this. From there, it will go to end directly. If this is not true, then this will not run. It comes to end. It will run this, then it will go to end, like this way. That's
Sir,
now. So if end, if else end. Now you have another one. So let's see. If a is less than 5. What's that? If a is less than 5, out is equals to a multiplied by 2. Okay. Then you have, if I want to put multiple conditions, I have else if. Okay. Together, not separate. Again, very careful. Not else if is together. There is no space in between. Some of you actually making these mistakes. Don't make that mistake. Else if means all together. Else if there has to be another condition. Just like if এর পর একটা logical condition আছে, again after else if there will be another condition. What is the condition? Else if অথবা যদি if a is greater than 5, okay, out is equals to a multiplied by 4. Then I write, I can finish it with an end now. Fine. If I finish it with an end, what will be the output? কি বলতে পারবে?
else if.
আউটপুট কি হবে?
40.
40. Because this is going to run. This is false. So this is not going to run. This is true. This is going to run. Output will be 40. Okay. So fine. Now, are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
So next thing is that you see, I can also, instead of finishing with an end, I can go further and write else here. Else means if this is not true, this is not true either, then else. Then out is equals to a minus 5, then end. Okay. So if this is not true, this is not true. So what is the condition that is hidden here? কি বলতে পারবে? I'm not writing any condition there, but this is something hidden here. What is the condition?
A is equal to 5.
Yeah, a is equals to 5.
5.
Double equal. Single equal mean assignment, double equal mean fines, but we are not mentioning it. It is we not mentioned here. It is just invisible. Okay. So the same thing, instead of writing 5, if I had written here 10, and this, then what would be the output? Output কি হইতো?
The
5.
output will be 5, sir.
Yes.
Output would have been 0. No, 5. Yes, 5.
5. It will be 5 because this would have been run. Because this is not true, this is false, only this is true. Are you following?
Yes.
আচ্ছা।
Yes, sir.
So it goes like this. Again, understand. If I had written like this way, আবার বোঝো, a is equals to 10. A is greater than 10. Now what would be the output? এখন output
20.
কি হবে? বলো।
20.
20. Yes. Why? Because you say this is true. When this is true, this is run. Once this is run, you see the cursor, the pointer directly goes to end. These things are not checked, not even checked. They will not be checked either. Okay. Whenever one if condition is checked, is actually met, that condition will run, and rest of the things will be ignored directly. Is it clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Acha, now let's see. If a is greater than 5, sorry, a is less than 5, out is equals to a multiplied by 2. Else if a is greater than 5, out is equals to a multiple by 4. Else if a is equals to 10, out is equals to a multiple by 6. Else if modulo of a comma 2 is equals to 0, out is equals to a divided by 2. Else out is equals to a multiple by 10 and এখন বলো what will be the output?
40.
40, sir.
Yes,
40.
40. Good. 40. Why?
Because the first if else if is true.
So this is false, this is true. Once this is true, you see this is also true, right? Why I'm not getting this output?
Because after one true, we
Yes.
will
So
skip the
whenever
loop.
this is true, this is going to run this, the pointer is going to directly to the end. No matter, it will not going to change whether it is true or false. It is not going to check any of them. Whenever one is found true, that will run and the pointer is going to directly to the end. Okay, so I believe you have some idea about this one right now. Um, hopefully. So this concept can be used in many different ways. Okay, there are many different ways to utilize it. So if you go to your lab manual, okay, so in the lab manual, you will find in page 6, okay, in your page 6, there is a question, practice problem 1. Okay, a problem is given, try to solve it, take a screenshot and upload it in the comment section. Very simple. Try to make it in a better way, in an intelligent way. Okay, quickly. যারা আগে দিতে পারবে তাদেরকে বোনাস মার্ক দিব। You will get bonus mark if you can do it properly মানে intelligently and fast. Practice
Question
problem 1,
6. Sorry.
page 6. This one. So if else if, you can add as many else if as you like. Okay, that is not an issue. Anyone? এতক্ষণে হয়ে যাওয়ার কথা।
Sir,
Yes.
do you only need the output?
I want to see the code. Write the code.
Okay, sir.
For the input, you can just write n equals to 75. Anything. Okay, you
Okay,
don't have to take it. Just take it directly as a variable.
okay, sir.
Wait for that. Um, shit. Oh, shit. কারোই হলো না।
স্যার,
হ্যাঁ,
আমার ম্যাটল্যাবটা গ্রেটার দেন আর ইকুয়াল টু রেকগনাইজই করতেছে না।
বুঝিনি কি করতেছে না।
গ্রেটার দেন আর ইকুয়াল টু সাইনটাতে এরর দেখায়।
তোমাকে স্ক্রিনশট পাঠাও, তাইলে দেখতে হবে।
আচ্ছা জি স্যার।
এফ প্রিন্ট এফ, বাবারে বাবা। এই এফ প্রিন্ট এফ এগুলো ইউজ করবা না। এগুলো সি প্রোগ্রামিং এর জিনিস। ম্যাটল্যাব এগুলো এফ প্রিন্ট এফ কেউ করে না। ম্যাটল্যাবে ডাইরেক্ট একটা ভেরিয়েবল বসাই দিবা, যা ঝামেলা শেষ। ডাইরেক্টই দেখা যাচ্ছে সবকিছু। এরকম ক্যাচাল লাগে না। এগুলো লেখার ক্যাচাল, স্কোর লিখে ওরে খাইছে খুদা। ইন্নালিল্লাহ। ইন্টার ডিস্টেন্স নিউমেরিক্যাল স্কোর খাইছে। হুম। ঠিক আছে, you can do it like this way, fine, but এই যে avoid using all this f printf ইত্যাদি ইত্যাদি এক্সেট্রা। তোমার নাম কি? টল আলী? what is this
Okay,
thing?
sir. Yes.
Urema. Okay, can you do this using without using if else condition? Would you have done that
With too much time, yes, sir.
using just a simple array? Can it not be done?
Sir, with time, yes.
Can it be done without with just a simple array?
Now?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. একজন দুইজন। Incorrect use of এতই operator. You are giving a space greater than a space. Okay, who is this?
এটা
Taki Yasir.
আচ্ছা।
There
ইয়েস
should
স্যার।
not be any space in between. Okay,
আচ্ছা ওকে স্যার।
and there should be a condition. You see, if it is greater than 100 or less than 0, then you should make it invalid. Okay, it is a standard coding practice to write invalid situations.
ওকে স্যার।
Sorry, ko.
Voilà, ça c'est plus sur le paiement là. C'est plus Mariam. Mariam là. Wallahi, les Camerounais là. Mariam là, elle est bonne.
ওকে,
Camerounais là,
5
elle est bonne.
মাত্র 5 জন, বাকিরা কি করতেছে?
Hein? Les Nigériens, faut dire à ton Camerounais là, il y aura guerre civile. Hein? Pas comme ça, pourtant les gens entendent. Là, il a.
Okay, so you see in conditionals we can write conditionals in many different ways. This is if and, if else and, if else and, if else if and. You can
Sir,
say as many else if as you like. Okay, so you can do it in many different ways, but it has to finish with an end, has to start with an F always. Acha.
sir,
Yes,
sir, I'm sorry, I didn't know the microphone was on.
you Aki.
I didn't know the microphone was on. I was talking.
Fine,
I
no
didn't know,
problem.
sir. Okay, sir.
Acha. The next thing, you see, another way to write conditional statements is called switch. So you write switch, then a condition, then use case like this. So this is something that is rarely used, very rarely. An example is given in your notebook, in your lab manual, you can check it. It is not used, always if else is used, so you stick to this one. But just remember the name. Okay, just remember the name. Achha. So we are done with our loops. Now we'll go for loops. Okay. We are done with our conditionals. Now let's start our loops. Okay. This is important because this will be extremely necessary for different codes to solve different problems. Loops is a must. Okay. So you already have some idea. Let's see. Let's refresh those memories. Achha. Loops can be written in two different ways. One is while, another is for. While loop and for loop. We'll start with for loop. This is much simpler, much more easier, okay, less risky compared to while. So you stick to for loop if you can. So what is the for loop? So you start with writing for. This is the reserved word, keyword. Then I write I is equals to, let's say, 1:4. Okay. So you see, this is your reserved word for. Now this one, is this a logical statement or a variable assignment statement?
Variable assignment.
So this is a assignment statement, not a logical statement. So unlike if else condition, for loop, to use for loop, you have to write a variable assignment statement. Then you have to write in a body. Let's say I multiple by 2. Then it has to be finished with an end, just like this. End. So if I write like this way, okay. So I is equals to 1:4. This is a colon operation. That means inside you actually created like something like this. I is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. So in every iteration, there is going to be the value is going to change. So I is called here the iterator variable. Iterator variable is holding these values, but they will iterate one after another. That's the difference. So in iteration, first iteration, I is going to be 1. This is going to go to this. Then what will be the output? Out is equals to 2 1 2.
2, yes, sir.
Yes. Then the second iteration number 2, second iteration, I is going to go to the second element, I is equals to 2. So output is going to be 4. Then third iteration, I is equals to 3. So output is going to be 3 dugune 6. Then fourth iteration, I is equals to 4, output equals to 8. Once the loop is closed, there is no more iteration, then it will directly go to end, finish. It goes like this way. So in for loop, we have two things. First of all, we have an iterator variable. We assign some value to the iterator variable. So the iterator variable will go through this value one after another throughout the iteration. And inside the for loop, in the body, whatever we have written, that will run one after another. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So any question? So if I write I is equals to 1 is to 10, out is equals to aegon and sorry, if can I come right for end, what is going to be displayed in the output? কি display করবে?
Aegon will be displayed 10 times.
Yes,
Sorry, Aegon will be displayed 10 times.
10 times, yes. So you see, in the body, you don't have to write anything related to I. It does not have to be. I is equals to 1 is to 10 means there are 10 iterations is going to be there. Every iteration output is going to be aegon. So aegon, it is going to like this way. Okay. So if I write, so there is one interesting thing that you can do. You see in string, I have not shown you that yet. We can write it like this. So we can add one like this. So everyone, it can be aegon 1, aegon 2, aegon 3, aegon 4. Can you do this? করতে পারবা? So every iteration, it goes, I value, it has to be added to there. Did you get the point what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is ways to do this, but for that kind of string manipulation, we'll talk about it later. Think of it like a homework if you can do this. Okay. Acha, let's focus on loop first.
Sir,
Let's focus on the loop first, otherwise এটাই শেষ করতে পারবো না.
sir,
So we are here now. So basically we are going like this way. Now, what if, let's say, I want to create something like this way. X equals to, let's say the student IDs 101, 103, 105, up to let's say 149, etc. So what was our statement for this one? How do we create something like this using colon operation? How do you create an array like this using colon?
So, sir, initial value, interval, and end value.
Interval is 2, then 149, like this way. This will create something like this. Okay. These are very simple things. Okay. Acha. Now, after your vacation, Eid vacation, there will be a quiz. You will find this kind of question. Okay. So if you're not practicing yet, make sure you practice before the quiz. Otherwise, it is going to give you a very good marks, very poor marks. Acha. Now, so if I write, so for loop, I is equals to, okay, 101 is to 2. Acha, for simplicity, let's start with 1 for now. 1 is to 2 is to 10. Out is equals to I square. Let's see, I square, I don't know. I square. End. Okay. Then what will be the outputs? First iteration, I is going to be 1. Output is going to be 1 square equals to 1. Second iteration, I is going to be 3. Because you see this is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is going to be 9. Then 5, this is going to be 25, like this way. Is it clear? Any
Yes,
question?
sir.
So same way, using colon operation, you can also use a like a distance between numbers. Okay, you can also go that way. So this is basically our for loop. Okay, using the for loop, we can actually tune everything in many different ways. We can do a lot of different things with this variable. Let's see what we can do. You are all familiar with factorial number, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's say 3 factorial, that's equals to 6. 4 factorial, 24. 5 factorial, 120. 6 factorial, 720. So basically 6 factorial is equals to 1 multiplied by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? এরকম না? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Now, when it comes to factorial number, we want to write a code. Let's say n equals to any value. Let's say n equals to 9. I need to find the factorial of 9. I have to write a code to find the factorial of 9. Acha. There is a built-in function in MATLAB as well, so factorial. So if you write factorial of 9, it will automatically give that value. So let's see. The factorial of 9 value is factorial 9. 36280 নাকি 36280 with another 0 2880 large value. আচ্ছা, so using a built-in function that's fine, but I want to write a code without a built-in function. If I want to do this without a built-in function, how to write a code to get something like this? আমার কথা বোঝা গেছে? Is the question
Yes, sir.
clear? আচ্ছা,
Yes,
so
sir.
we have to create a multiplication like this way. Multiplication hot 1:9, all the multiplication. আচ্ছা, so we can use a for loop. There are other ways to do this, but let's stick with for loop now. So if I write for I is equals to 1:n, you see I am generalizing. This is called generalizing, writing a code. Generalizing with the value of n, because whatever the n value is, that is the, up to that point, the loop will run. Then what do I need? I need to store the value of, so we have defined the n value. So then I have to store the value of factorial. Let's say start with 1. Okay. So now f is equals to f multiple by I. ঠিক আছে? Then I finish with end. Is it okay? তাহলে কি হবে? You see, at first f was 1. F was 1. Then iteration starts. Iteration 1. First iteration. I value is 1. So f value is 1 by 1, that's equals to 1. Then iteration, second iteration 2. I value is 2. F value was 1. So f multiplied by 1. So 1 is to 2, that is equals to 2. Then third iteration. I value becomes 3. F equals to, previously it was 2. Now it gets multiplied. So 3 গুণে 6. Are you following? Fourth iteration.
Yes.
I is equals to 4. F becomes 4 into 6, that's equals to 24. So like this way, it continuously multiply one after another. And ultimately you get the final F value. Is the concept clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see, for loop can be used in many different ways. So this is one example. It has to be up to you. The more you practice, the more you will see how many different ways you can actually use for loop for different tasks. It is very important to practice to understand the use of for loop. It can give you a lot of different things. আচ্ছা. Now let's move on. Any question for the factorial part in this code?
No, sir.
আচ্ছা. Now let's look at another one. You're also familiar with this one. Fibonacci number. So what are Fibonacci number? 0, then 1, then the summation of the previous two, that becomes what? 1. Then the summation of the previous two, that becomes 2. Summation of the previous two, that becomes 3. Then 5, then 8, then 13. So the is nth number of Fibonacci, that's equals to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. That means any value of n, let's say this one, this value will be the summation of the previous two values of Fibonacci number. Is it clear? Fibonacci number?
Yes.
Achha. Now we have to write a code to get the nth Fibonacci value. Okay. So we don't know the n value. Let's say n is equals to, let's say, suppose 50. So we have to write a code to get the nth Fibonacci number. So we know. So f of 50 is going to be what? F of 49 plus f of 48. So to get f of 49, I have to calculate fast. So f of 49 will be again f of 48 plus 47. So using recursion, it will be very difficult. So no need to use recursion. We have a smarter way to do this. How to do this? Let's see. I create a array first that will store the Fibonacci values. Let's start with the two values because we already know these values. Okay, these values are known. Now we'll start from 3. Okay, let's see. So for loop, I is equals to, so I value start with 1 or 3. কি দিয়ে শুরু করব? Should we start with 1 or 3? বলো।
স্যার আমরা কি বানাতে চাচ্ছি?
3, because we already know the first two. We start with the third value. I am getting n, right? I am going to use I to get the n. So this is the n. So I am going to, আচ্ছা, so for I is equals to 3 is to n, that means 3 থেকে n এর জন্য f of I, so that means f of 3 is going to be f of I minus 1 plus f of I minus 2. So f of 3 is going to be f of 2 plus f of 1. We know f of 2 and f of 1. So in the next iteration, f of 4 is going to be, so you see, in the first iteration, I value is 3. Fibonacci value of 3, f of 3 is becomes what? Previous data. So this becomes, f becomes 0, 1, comma 1. In the second iteration, I becomes 4. So if 4 value is becomes these two values, so 0, comma 1, comma 1, comma 2. If you write this code, you will see gradually how the array is increasing in size. Write this code and try to see what is the Fibonacci, nth Fibonacci number in MATLAB. Okay, take a screenshot and show it in the comment section. Quickly, what is already given, quickly write it. Don't use the semicolon in the for loop, inside the for loop body. See how the progress happens. Okay. At first, later, when you are familiar with it, you can actually use suppress the output. Anyone else? বাকিরা কই? হুম। Are you guys solving the assignments by yourselves? So far you have done 4 assignments. নিজেরা নিজেরা করছো না কপি করে পেস্ট করে বসায় দিচ্ছ?
একটু হেল্প নিচ্ছে স্যার এআই থেকে।
If you don't practice the assignments by yourself, okay, and this course grade is going to be very poor because you will not be able to learn MATLAB anyway. Without that practicing the assignments by yourself, you are not going to learn this course. Okay, very important. Assignments are more important.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, is it possible to in future reduce the number of assignment exercise at like maximum fourth, because once they are like 6 is very hard to try to understand all of them. It take several time, but when they are 4, I think it's more easy for everyone to
When
try
they
to
are?
understand everything. When they are like only 4 exercise,
Oh,
it's
so you see, yeah, I understand. Depending on the depending on the week, number of exercise problem will vary. Why it is important? You see, some of the problems are very simple. Some of the problems are a little bit difficult. So
yes, sir.
whatever is taught in the course, the assignment problems are set in such a way so that it can cover the entire area. So some lectures are small, so that's why you have 4 or 5 assignments. Some like topics is going to be large. So I needed to give you more exercise problems so that you can actually properly understand that one. So exercise problems are related to the topics that has been covered in the class. Okay. So I understand that sometimes exercise are 6 or 7 exercise. It is going to be a little bit time consuming. So take your time. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about the submission deadline as of now. You are free now. You can submit. This is vacation, so you can try now. I will not mind if you let submit. That's fine. You
Okay,
just have
sir.
to submit before the exam.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, is there any way to use the documentation? I mean, it's very hard to find a specific function or something like that.
Okay. So for the assignment problems, you see, whatever you need is either taught in the class or it is already mentioned in the assignments. You will not need any extra function that was not taught in the class to solve that particular problem. There can be some functions that can make your task easy, but you are not supposed to use that one. You are supposed to use your knowledge, let's say whatever you know for up to lab 4. For this week's assignments, whatever you know up to lab 4, that should be enough to solve those problems. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
বুঝতে পারছো? ওইভাবে করেই কোশ্চেনটা ডিজাইন করা আছে, যে তোমার আলাদা নতুন কোনো ফাংশন লাগবে না। যদি কোনো কিছু লাগে তাহলে ওই কোশ্চেনের মধ্যে আমি জিনিসটা লিখে দিছি যে ট্রাই দিস ফাংশন, আছে না, লেখা
Yes.
আছে না কোশ্চেনের মধ্যে?
Yes, sir.
সো
হ্যাঁ।
সাজেশন দেওয়াই থাকবে। তো আমি ওইভাবে ডিজাইন করে দিচ্ছি অনেক কেয়ারফুলি। Okay, now let's move on. The next topic is nested loop. Nested loop means we can actually have one loop inside another loop. Okay. So this is called the outer loop. This is called the inner loop. So I believe you already know these things. Let me revise it as well. So first, it will start like this way. I values are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first iteration 1. I is going to be 1. J is going to be, so it gets 1. What is J? J is 10. Then this one will run. What is the value of out? I multiple by J. So that is equals to 10. Okay. It goes to this end. But you see, this inner loop has not completed yet. So it will not go to here. It will just keep running inside until your inner loop is completed. So in the second iteration, I will remain 1 and J will become what? 11. Then the output will become what? 11. In the third iteration, I remains 1. J becomes 12. Out becomes, okay, 12. Now you see it is reached the final part. So now, okay, it will go to this one. The pointer will go to end and this will go to I. So in the fourth iteration, I will become 2. Z will become, it starts from here again. 10. Now out is equals to what? 20. Then again fifth iteration, I remains 2. Now j increases again, 11. Out is equals to 22. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So basically, you have two loops. In nested loop, you have two loops, outer loop and inner loop. Inner loop will run for every value of the outer loop. Inner loop will run fully. Inner loop will run fully for every value of the outer loop. This way, this will actually go on like this way. Okay. So you can, this is called nested loops, one after another inside loop. You can actually do a lot of different things using nested loop. Acha. Now, so there are, let's say, two. You can have three nested loop, for within a for within a for. So usually 2 and 3 is enough. You don't need to go further than that one. Acha. Is the concept clear? Nested loop? Any question?
No, sir.
আচ্ছা নাও আচ্ছা একটা জিনিস মনে হলো ফর অ্যাসাইনমেন্টস there are some tricky problems in the assignments. Let's say you have 6 problems. There will be 1 or 2 problems that can be a little bit tricky, can be difficult for you to solve. That is for given so that you can do some exercise of the brain. Okay. So just like your physical body, if you don't do exercise, it will just gradually rot. Similar to your brain, if you don't exercise, it will rot. So those problems are given to exercise your brain. The more you practice, don't search directly for ChatGPT. Okay, search for a solution. No, try by yourself. Think, learn to think how you can actually make it work. So being able to solve a problem is very, it can be very rewarding. শান্তি লাগবে আরে আধা ঘন্টা চেষ্টা করার পর আমি প্রবলেমটা সলভ করতে পারছি ইফ ইউ ক্যান গেট দ্যাট কাইন্ড অফ মেন্টালিটি you will actually able to learn MATLAB very clearly. Not MATLAB, just any programming program very nicely. If you can actually get that mentality that after 30 minutes, after 1 hour, I am finally being able to solve this problem. Okay. So some problems will take sometimes like this. Some problems will take 1 hour. I sometimes spend 3 hours in, not just 3 hours, 3 days solving one single problem from coding. Very complex problems. So days, 1, 2, 3 day, 4 day. After that, I finally able to solve it. At that time, there was no ChatGPT there. Okay. Everything was done by brain. So if you want to learn, if you want to like get better in programming, you have to practice by yourself. Acha. So if you look at your lab manual, you so in your lab manual, there is a array given like this matrix. Okay, matrix given like this way: 1 0 0 0, 1 2 0 0, 1 2 3 0, 1 2 3 4, like this. You have to generate a matrix like this way. You have to write a code to generate a matrix of like this. Basically, n size. If n is equals to 6, then it will be 6 by 6 matrix. Go on like this way. Is it clear? You will find the problem in page 13. Okay, practice problem 5. So how do you solve this problem? কে করতে পারবে? Try. You will need nested loop. Try to solve it if you can. Try it by yourself. If you can, I will give you bonus mark. Anyone? কারো কোনো idea? How can we create something like this? আর হলো Tanjim Masood. Okay. 0 is n equals to 6, 0 is 1 is to n, j is equals to 1 is to n. If j is less than equals to I it's a ছোট হয় good. This is the problem. You have to create a matrix like this. Tanjim Masood, what's your ID? 337.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? দুজনে সেম জিনিস হয়ে গেল? চ্যাট জিপিটি থেকে আসলো নাকি আবার? হয় 4 আর কোনোভাবে করা যায় না এভাবে না করে? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. J is equals to 1 is to I, matrix I comma j is equals to j. That's another way. You can directly just control with the j value. Okay. You can check this one from Ali. Okay. That's another way to do this. This is much interesting. So if I write like this, you see, for I is equals to 1 is to n. I want to go up to n. Then for j, 1 is to I. So when I is equals to 1, j will only go to up to 1. When I is equals to 2, it will go up to 2. I is equals to 3, it will go up to 3. So I can control like this. So I don't have to write anything else. Then our output matrix, I comma j is equals to just j. Then your end, then your end. Okay. So what is this one? Burema, what's your ID? Ali. What's your student ID?
347, sir.
347.
Yes, sir.
347. Okay. Acha, let's move on. While loop. Okay, we have one more thing left. While loop. Acha. Now, when it comes to while loop, you have to be extremely careful. This is very important. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will put your MATLAB in a infinite loop. Okay. So you have to stop executing if you are not careful. Even if you just write this code right now, okay, it will put your MATLAB into an infinite loop. Achha, let's see why. So while loop, we'll start like this way, a while, then end. Then I have, you see, unlike for loop, there is a logical statement there. So in for loop, we write item assignment statements, but in while loop, we have to put a logical statement. As long as this is true, everything in the body will keep running. As long as the logical statement is true, everything in the body will keep running. Okay, fine. So if I is less than 10, that means as long as the I value is less than 10, whatever you write here, it is going to just run and run and run. Okay, so that's why there is a chance it can get into an infinite loop if I is always less than 10. How so it can happen? Before you go there, you see, I is undefined at this state. Previously, in item assignment means I am assigning the value I is equals to 1 is to 10 or 10 is to 12. I am assigning the value, but here you are not saying any value here. So before you write a for loop, you have to first define the iterator variable first. Okay, very careful. First, you have to define the iterator variable. Then you can write it. Okay, this is another trap, second trap. Now, if I write this code, this is going to be, you see, this is going to put everything in an infinite loop. করবে কি করবে না কি মনে হয়?
Sir, it will put it into an infinite loop.
Yes. So if I write I is equals to 2. That means when loop start, first iteration, I is equals to 2. What do you have? Order. Then second iteration, I is still 2. What do you have? Order. I is still 2. Order. I is still 2. Order. এটা order করতেই থাকবে। Because you see, this statement is always true. So as long as it's true, this is going to run and run and run. So if you run now, you'll see we'll get a order. Run করে দেখো। So if you try running, okay. So let's see. Check here. Don't put your MATLAB in a section break. Okay, if I write, let's say I is equals to 2, while I is less than 10, out is equals to order end. Now if I run this, you see, this is continuing. You see, check here in the live editor section, the output is continuously running. You see, order, it is just going on and on. এই যে দেখো চলতেই আছে. It is not going to stop. Okay, so that means it is put in a infinite loop. Okay, so you have to stop it using this button. Otherwise, your MATLAB is going to remain busy continuously. Okay, you see, this is busy. It is not even stopping. I have clicked it here. It is taking time. Okay, if you put your MATLAB in a infinite loop like this way, it can be very difficult for you to stop executing it. Sometimes your MATLAB will completely hang. So that's why when you're using your while loop, extremely careful. Better to go for your for loop. For loop is much easier, much simpler. Okay, don't go to while loop unless it is necessary. Okay, you see, this is still not stopping. I have write it here. It is still taking time. Okay, MATLAB actually takes time to stop like this way executing. Okay, this is busy. It is just ordering. Keep ordering. Acha, let's just go. Zoom, share screen. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to our while loop. So what we have to do to avoid these things is that in every loop, you have to have a increment statement that whenever iteration 1 is done, increment the value so that it can get out of this loop. Okay, so this is something you have to be careful on. So whenever you're writing your while loop, be very careful. You have to assign the value fast, otherwise it is going to show an error. Check how your logical statement is working. Don't place it in an infinite loop. Make sure your iterator variable is increasing or decreasing depending on the condition you have put. Okay, otherwise it is going to put everything in a while loop. Achha. So for instance, if I want to write our factorial code, okay, using our while loop, I will write like this way. So let's say I is equals to এক থেকে শুরু করতেছি, while I is less than n, so n is equals to, let's say 10. I want 10 factorial, while I is less than 10, less than equals to 10 actually. F is equals to f multiplied by I, so f is equals to 1. Then I is equals to I plus 1. Every iteration I needs to be increased. Then end. This is our while loop version of the factorial code. Okay, you see, this is much more, you have to much more hassle. Okay. A little bit more hassle than the for
Sir?
loop. Yes.
Is the incrementation I clock slots work here?
Implementation of
Like I plus plus.
I plus plus. No, I plus plus in C. It does not support in MATLAB.
Okay, sir.
Okay, MATLAB does not support this one. That's for C programming, not in MATLAB programming.
Okay, sir.
I is equals to I plus 1. So this is how you write your while loop. Any question from the while loop?
No, sir.
Okay, so you have to practice a little bit. Okay, you will find 7 or 8 questions in your exercise. Okay, you have to practice a little bit to get the hang of it, how to write these things. One small thing is remaining. Let's see. One is break and continue statement. Achha. So you will find it here. This is important. Break means, you see, let's say you are running a loop, but you want to give a condition. Condition like this way. For instance, before I finish here, I give a condition here. What kind of condition? So this is a factorial value, right? we know that factorial value can get very large. So I write like this way. Inside, if f value is greater than 10,000, I just write break. Then I write end. Then I write end. This end for is this end. This end for is this end. So what will happen here? You see, I am in the doing the iteration. F value is calculated. I value is incremented. But every time it is going to check whether the f value exceeds 10,000 or not. The moment it exceeds 10,000, break means it is directly going to get it to the end without running the loop any further. So it will break out of the loop. It's applicable same for loop as well. So break is simple, break out of the loop. Okay. So sometimes you want to put this condition that if something like this happen, something list value exceeds, then break out of the loop. Don't go any further. Okay. So this is a very useful thing. Remember, in solving many problems, you have to use break so that you can get out of the loop. Otherwise, just iteration will continuously running and running. Is the concept clear? Any question?
Also,
Kaar kono question? Acha. So before you go, let's see. You have so this is all for your lab. This is all for your lab fourth lab. So we have seen three things: logical statements, logical conditions, then how to write conditional statements, then how to write for loops. Okay. Acha. So if you look at, go through the lab manual first. Okay. Give it 1 hour by yourself. Go through everything what is written there. Practice everything by yourselves. Then you can get the hang of it. Then try to do the assignments. Okay. Again, this course, this lab will take you have to give some time every week. Otherwise, this is not going to work. Acha. For the assignment, for instance, exercise 1, Fibonacci sequence. Exactly the same problem as Fibonacci sequence. Only difference is Fibonacci sequence take 3 elements. You see, 0, 0, 1. Rest of the things are same. So if you know how to write in for loop, Fibonacci sequence, you can also write it using you can also write the Fibonacci sequence as well. So simple problems, it is right like this. So Colas conjecture, very interesting conjecture. This is from math. If you are interested in mathematical topics, this is very interesting. You can search a very cool video. You can search what is a Colas conjecture. It is very interesting. Any number, there is certain weight, it will always return to this 4 to 1 sequence. Okay. So try to do this like this way. These are simple. This one, you see, problem 2, exercise 2. A star mark means this is a little bit complex. Read the question. We'll just solve these problems, then we are done. Read the question. What it says. Was there a question? Did you understand the question?
no, sir.
Okay, let's see. Let's solve this problem. How to solve the problem? Let's see. So exercise 02. Any, okay, just basically actually the opposite of prime. So what it says that there are certain numbers. For instance, 13 is a prime number. If you flip it, it becomes 31, right? If you flip it, this becomes 31. So the question goes like this. Question excellent. Okay, question direct. 03 assignments lab 3. I see. So the question is, so any number, let's say 13 is a prime number, the reverse, okay, has to be a prime as well. If the reverse is also a prime, this is a prime, this is also a prime, then we call it a MIP number. Okay. But there are some condition there. For instance, 11 is a prime number, but when I reverse it, it also becomes 11. This is not applicable because why? This is this is a palindrome. Palindromes has to be executed. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Achha. So again, for instance, 19. So if 19 is a prime number, yes. If I opposite it, the reverse it, 91. Is 91 a prime number?
Yes, sir.
7 এবং 91. So it is not a prime number. No. Okay. So you have to check whether the number is a prime. If it is a prime, then you have to check whether the reverse of the number is a prime. Okay. Then you just also have to check whether it is a palindrome or not. So you have like 3 conditions. You have to match each and every of them. Then what is the output that you are asked? It is said that you are given a range, let's say n is equals to 100. That means you have to start from 0 to 100. All the palindrome numbers you have to give within this range. That's what you have to return. Okay, let's see. Let's write our code like this way. N is equals to 100. Fine. Understand? If you know your MATLAB properly, you can write your code in your lab menu, in your script, okay, in your tab. You don't have to write in your MATLAB and check. No, you can write in your MATLAB very easy. Can be small mistakes, that's fine, that's ignorable. But the idea, the theory should be very clear to you. How I am going to proceed, that's algorithm has to be clear to you. So let's say how I am going to proceed. N is equals to 100, fine. So first condition, bojo. To reverse it, that means first condition is this has to be greater than 10, right? The values has to be greater than 10. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
It cannot be 7 because you have to reverse it. No, this is not allowed. It has to be greater than 10. So when we start, we can start like this way. For, let's say, for instance, I is equals to, let's start from 10. 10 is to n. So that means 10 is to n. I'm going to check. Fine. So how to check? First of all, this is the first condition. It has to be greater than 12. Second, the number is a prime or not. So there is a function called is prime that will check whether the value is clear. So I write a condition if is prime, this I value, whether my I value is prime or not. If this is a prime, then I will follow. Then whatever I have to do, I will do after only if this is a prime. If the original number is, let's say, 10, is it a prime? No. Then we have to check anything else? No. So that is not a MIP number. So that means if this is a prime only, I will do. Otherwise, I will just finish the loop. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So see, I will go when I solve a problem step by step. So I have solved this step. I have done this step. Now, what do you have to do? I have to check the reverse. First, I have to reverse it, then check it. The question is, how do you reverse a number? Now, a number cannot be reversed directly, but you see, in one of the previous steps, I have showed you one way. How can you reverse a number? Not directly. So what you can do, I
Known
can
as a
convert
string.
it into a string, right? Right now, I can convert into a string. Then I can just flip it. It will become 31. Then I can just flip it back into a number like this way. Then I can check. So let's see. First, string. Okay, let's see. NS, number to string. So NS value. So what I want, I have the function number to string, right? If I write I, this is going to convert the value of I to string. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
আমার কথা কি বোঝা যাচ্ছে নাকি হারাই গেলাম? আচ্ছা, so basically this is going to, let's say for instance 10, first iteration 10. This is going to convert it into a, this is true, না সরি 10 তো এটা ফলস আসলো, so 10 এর জন্য থাকবেই না, এটা চলে যাবে কোথায়? 11তে আসলো, 11তে আসলো। Now I have to sorry 11 আসলো, true আসলো, this is true because 11, this is true, 11 is a prime number. Then I have to convert it to a string. So number to string means this becomes this 1 1. Then I have to flip it. Let's say RS. is equals to flip. I have the flip function, flip of ns. Flip means 1 1 will become 1 1. একই জিনিস. Now I have to check. Nah, then I have to first reverse is back. So let's see. Rn reverse number is, so what is the function to convert it? I have, বলো কি নাম ফাংশন ছিল? String to
num.
double. String to double. Okay. This will convert this number into a, converts this string into a number, string to double. Sorry, 12, 11. So 11. So first, I check the is prime, then I convert into a number, then flip it, convert it back to a number, the flip version of the number. Now convert it back. Now I'm going to check. Okay, inside I have another if function. What I'm going to check? I'm going to check whether this number is a prime or not. So is prime again. Is prime Rn. So this is my third condition. Third condition was that the reverse also has to be a prime on prime. So is this a prime? Yes, it is going to be a prime, but there is another condition. Condition was it has to be a, it cannot be a palindrome. So I have to do both conditions. So we know the AND function, dilam AND. Now I have to check whether this one, and this one are same or not. If they are same, that means they are actually is equal. So that means this is not acceptable. So if I write is equal, I am checking whether ns, number to string, and rs, the reverse string, these two are same or not. If they are same, that means they are palindrome. Our condition ঠিক আছে? If my condition is okay, আসো না হারাই গেছো?
Sir, we
এটা তো
understand.
এখানে ইকুয়াল 0 আসবে স্যার, মানে not
Okay.
not
Not is equal, right?
yes sir.
Yes, the condition is negative condition. They cannot be equal. So I have to write like this. This is a not function. So is equals to true means it will become false. So I have to satisfy this. If this is true and this is true, only then I'll proceed. What I will proceed? That means our original value I is actually a MIP number. So I will store it. Let's say out is equals to an array. I'll put it there. Out is equals to out comma I store my original MIP number there. So this is my end, this is my end, this is my end for loop. This is for this, this is for this, this is for this. Is it okay? Is it okay? বোঝা গেছে না হারাই গেছো?
বুঝতে পারছি।
Okay, so try to solve these things by yourself. If you are unclear, try to think how it is done, then it should be okay. It should not be difficult, but try to understand how I'm solving. Okay, check and try to check every condition one after one other, then it will be easier to solve. Acha. So this is how you solve problems, try to tackle the problems like this way. Acha. So we are done for today. Write your student ID in the chat. Okay. Starting from 301, write your student IDs. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, you can leave.